Hello, this is a case study and lesson plan video created by Kenyatta Cochran and Kerman to fulfill the requirements of the SPED 5481 course with Dr. Lynch and Dr. Smith. The focus of our case is a 9-year, 11-month boy named Lee who has cerebral palsy spastic quadriplegia. Lee is enrolled in School X Special Needs Program. Lee has been diagnosed with related motor difficulties significantly impacting speech production, feeding, and causing receptive and expressive language delays. Our primary objectives for this case study included an analysis of Lee's strengths and weaknesses, a description of the test results and assessment results, a description of the informal test results, the remedial plan, and the lesson plan. Starting with the strengths, Lee is communicative and has the ability to use multiple forms of communication to get his point across. Lee can say the word no and can independently and effectively employ a combination of eye gaze, differentiated vowel sounds, arm movements to raise his hand, head nodding, shaking, emotional responses, and verbal production, again, of the word no. Along with his understanding of the vocabulary, his concept knowledge, understanding of WH questions, and comprehension, and his ability to incorporate messages that include negation has improved. He can also identify 10 primary colors, in addition to 6 geometric shapes, and is great with sight words. Lee is very attentive to what is going on around him. He enjoys church, cartoons, and this particular point is the gist of our lesson plan, in which Lee enjoys being read to. Moving on to Lee's weaknesses, Lee is totally dependent on caregivers for all activities of daily living and positioning. Lee also has limited reaching ability, limiting his ability to grasp objects that are far in reach. Lee's disability has relegated him to the use of a wheelchair for mobility for the most part. He has sporadic meltdowns when he feels envious of same-age peers that have normal abilities. Lee has difficulty with understanding how others feel and the ability to attend to a task for extended periods of time. I think the most important part of this particular study of the strengths and weaknesses, or one of the most important parts that we played on as a team, was the fact that Lee enjoyed being read to, and we decided to design our lesson plans with an abundance of opportunities for Lee to get to receive this sort of attention. Lee took a series of informal tests, but what stood out the most to us were the Peabody tests, the Peabody Achievement Test and the Peabody Vocabulary Test. As you can see, those arrows are trending up, particularly because, for example, the Peabody Achievement Test, among other things, tested reading comprehension and recognition, showing that Lee could identify sight words very well. And that was particularly telling for us. The Peabody Vocabulary Test found Lee to be performing just outside average range for his chronological age level. And this was also very promising to us, giving us some hope or some confidence in Lee that he could participate with his same age peers in a class such as reading, which we centered our lesson plans around. So looking at our remedial plan, we of course incorporated the research that we have found. Fierra's group and Chiarello's group, they both agreed that the AAC and learning games in particular were very important in encouraging effective communication among people with severe disabilities. So we really looked at the possibilities of incorporating learning games into our lesson plans moving forward for Lee. Lee enjoyed being read to, looking at his most notable strengths. Lee understands sight words, and Lee can answer yes and no questions, particularly well using his AAC devices. And as he grows with that technology, he becomes even more communicatable. Allowing Lee to participate in regular ed classes for up to 50 minutes daily is the plan. This way, Lee can make use of his talents, his strengths, his abilities, and the teachers and the instructors can also make use of those strengths as they prepare their lesson plans moving forward. But we wanted to get back to Lee's wheelchair because he's currently using a manual wheelchair with a cushion molded seat, and he's still often experiencing pain and discomfort. And we wanted to replace that chair with one that had an air cushion that had a controlled airflow and allow him to sit for longer periods of time. This would be a power controlled chair with head control gear, such as what you see in this PowerPoint here. So Lee has already shown that he is able to tolerate the standard for 60 minutes, and he has expressed this as his preferred position. So this is the kind of technology that will support his inclusion progress at school. Thus, moving forward to further addressing Lee's needs in class, of course, his lessons will always be differentiated in nature, and we'll always try to incorporate some games and some fun activities. We also have a in-class store that Lee will make himself even more a part of the fabric of class, because every student will have to go to Lee to recoup prizes, rewards, and things of that nature. So again, looking at his strengths, we want to make sure everybody got involved with Lee and read to Lee, starting off with the teacher doing our reading loud activities, and then the advanced readers will get a chance to read, and Lee will get a chance to hear everybody read in our choral reading activity. And we want to make sure, in conclusion, as the cartoon implies, we as teachers would all love for our students to be model students, be independent, be critical thinkers, and be obedient. However, this is never the case, and we have to learn to adapt our classes in order to foster an environment in which we can get the best out of every student in our class. So on behalf of Dr. Lynch, Dr. Smith, Kenyatta, Cochran, and myself, I would like to say thank you for viewing. I hope you all have a great rest of your summer, and goodbye.